everybody, it's Melissa again, and it's episode 6 of our series of videos outlining our biggest learnings and takeaways from our 20-year stint with the Rites of Eleusis and honoring of our recent release of the Rite of Saturn. And you've gotten to hear from John for a couple of episodes about the progression of character and about the things that we do off stage, the things you can't see that put the story forward. And now I'm shifting to our 6th topic, which I'm calling Found Objects Art. Found Objects Art is a category of art where you use kind of random things and you put them together creatively to create often like physical medium, like wall art, paintings, sculptures, that kind of thing. In our case, it's really a matter of looking at people and what they can offer, what their talents and skills are, and thinking, how can I use this to my advantage? To quote John, an often used statement of his. We also have the necessity of finding physical objects that will serve the purpose for props and set pieces without having necessarily the ability to construct things on a scale that, say, a professional theater company might. So we're always looking, perusing thrift shops and looking at pieces of furniture and asking, having people loan us things and putting together our set in a way that allows us to minimize the expense. So in that sense, we're looking for literally found objects. So there are two things. We can save money, which is always good, but I think the most important thing that we can do with the found objects concept is that we build community. So, for instance, working with violinists who can help collaborate with John on the composition of the piece and be available to play it. We've been fortunate to have actual live violin, or in some cases viola, on the stage in the role that would call for that. There was always a role for Crowley's friend Layla Waddell, and we had Katie in the Rite of Luna and Heather in the Rite of Venus, and then Sunny in every rite since then. Sunny got really good at mastering all of John's wacky time signatures and changes and fulfilling the mood and creating some original music that is really beautiful. So we're really fortunate in having found Sunny. The Rite of Jupiter is a rite that really demonstrates the best how the found objects concept comes together. I had the big idea for a circus or carnival type theme, and I wanted a lot of spectacular acts that would go with that, the kind of clowns and sideshow act and things to make it really a spectacle that would be in line with the theme for Dionysus. And so we ended up going to all of our artist friends. We had Circus come back, who had originally been with us in Mercury as a spinner, as a burlesque dancer, who could also spin hoops. I had Eric. Eric came to us. He was originally with us in Luna and then came back to Jupiter to be both a clown and a stilt walker, which was really fun. Kellen Barber came in as a strong man, and just everyone was like, all right, what can we do to create some fun acts that would lend to the circus feeling that we were going for with our big carousel. And then there was the Maenad scene, which is the clip we're going to see in a second. It was a very, very long scene that had a lot of different feelings to it, and plunked into the middle of it was this story about Zeus and Semele, which are the parents of Dionysus. And I was like, what am I going to do with this story? There's a lot of descriptive stuff in it. Like, there's a lot of reference to herbalism. There was reference to Semele and Zeus and how they hooked up and she immolated and he took care of the baby. And it was just a very detailed story. As John mentioned in episode 4, his discussion about character development, we had this relationship between Hebe and Ganymede, where Ganymede displaces Hebe, and she runs off and joins the Maenads. And so I thought it would be really cool if we used that story and we kind of created it as a narrative and an initiation for Hebe to join the Maenads, kind of a Daughters of Semele Dionysus cult, which is pretty much what they were. So in order to create that passion play and that initiation within our story, I learned that my friend Sue could make these really great plaster masks. And so I went to her and said, hey, teach me how to do this. And so I went over to her house. John came with me. We did these plaster cast masks. And that's where we got the Zeus and Hera faces. And if you look in the background, you'll see one of John's face as Dionysus up on the tree in the back. So we found those skills, kind of learned how to create it, and then use that to create this scene. We had Maenads that had belly dancing experience, so we were able to incorporate some of their moves into the scenes where they're using veils to create the idea of fire. So it all came together really nicely with a little bit of, these are the things our people know how to do, a little bit of, here's some crafts that a friend of mine can teach me, a little bit of going to the thrift store and looking around for things that might fit the story, and just some good old-fashioned imagination to create the scene. And it's one of my favorites. Jupiter, in fact, is probably my favorite overall, but don't tell anybody. And here you go, take a quick peek.
Silence, oh girls, and peace. The God's most holy presence, that's the hymn, the solemn hymn, the hymn of agony, blessed in the air of glory that surrounds the child of Semele. We lose the earth and corporal presence of the Zeus. Yea, sisters, raise the chant of riot. Lift your wine sweet voices, move your wine-stained limbs in joyful invocation. Hail, child of Semele, to her as unto thee. Be reverence, be deity, be immortality. Shame, treachery of the spouse of the Olympian house. Terror, thy grim device against the sweet carouse. Though in red roar and flame did Zeus descend, what flame to feel the immortal fire had then the Theban days. Caught in that fiery wave, her love and life she gave. With one last kissing cry, the unborn child to save. And thou, O Zeus, the sire of Bromius, hunter dire, didst snatch the unborn babe from that Olympian fire. In thine own thigh, most holy, that offspring melancholy, didst hide, didst feed on light, ambrosia, and moly. Aye, and with serpent hair and limbs divinely fair, didst thou, Dionysus, leave
So there you go, a clip from Jupiter that demonstrates the outcome of some really fine found objects art. I hope you've enjoyed this little trip into episode 6 of our greatest learnings and process for the rites of Eleusis. Check in next time for episode 7, where John is going to talk about musical themes and how we use those to promote our story. And if you are interested in checking out our videos of all 7 of the rites, including the most recent release, the Rite of Saturn, please check the comments. There will be a link for your ease of access. And have a great day.